Welcome, everybody who have joined us. I'm Olga Temanova at the Ukrinform Media Center. We are continuing our work. Today we will focus on the events at the Nord Stream. Briefly, on the 26th of September, the operator of Nord Stream reported that the capacity of transfer got down to the zero capacity of transferring. We have been joined by Oleksandr Kharchenko, the director at the Energy Industry Research Center. You will have known that NATO has already defined this as a possible sabotage following the statements and publications quoting the British press and intelligence claiming that Russia has had a finger in that event. We have seen also the German outlet Bild has joined such assessments. What can we say, in your expert opinion, has happened? A simple logic tells me that this is neither a technical disaster nor an incident, only because the gas pipeline at the depth of that particular point is between 60 or 180 meters beyond the sea surface, capable of very high pressure resistance at the peak of the moment. This pipe is not that easy to be physically destroyed. It is also absolutely clear that because of the terrorist amateurs, such an event could not have happened. An absolute visibility nil. When people say that some divers have gotten down to that point and planted some explosives, that's not real. An explosive device that would have exploded next to the pipeline would not have caused such a damage. Secondly, I challenge you to locate such a pipeline. So this has been deliberately and well thought professionals. It has been carried out in a highly professional and high quality way. I am not a representative, for good or for bad, of a counterintelligence community. The other thing that makes me happy as an expert in that area is, what is good for me is that Ukraine has not been already charged with these events. We don't have our fleet there. We don't have technical capacity to bring technical means there. What I think, Ukraine would have benefited from that infrastructure, especially now that the Turkish company has lost their license, licensed by the government of Netherlands. As of now, the most legal and normal way to deliver gas from Russia to Europe is through Ukrainian territory. The Ukrainian operator of the gas pipeline is functioning full time, and we are promising to increase the volume, but this is beyond our control. As an expert, can you say that such a march of events, such a sabotage was beneficial for the Russians? What would give it given to them? I think such a sabotage would benefit the Russians in one scenario, because they like the situation when you've got some masochists who like to be suffering from pain or delivering pain. That's the only reasonable explanation. I can't see any advantages for Russia. Any narrative that this is a way for them to avoid fines. You know, fines are somewhere in the vicinity of millions of dollars, but the worth of the damaged gas pipeline is about 20 billion euros. You know, it cannot be justified by any fine avoiding measures. Let us talk about the aftermath. In the first place, what will be the technical consequences of such a sabotage or extraordinary situation? In the first place, it has to do with Germany. For example, the upcoming winter period. Europe and Germany in particular are ready to face this situation. More to the point, the Ukrainian gas transportation pipeline is still operational, and it has a lot of reserve capacities that would be enough to provide gas, given the goodwill of the suppliers and buyers, and the necessary volumes of gas will be sufficient. Once again, Europe is not facing difficult times. There are no challenges in those terms. Ukraine is not threatened here. The only party that has been losing is Russia. What are the political aftermath of this accident? We know that there will be an independent investigation. Sooner or later, we will know what has happened and how it has happened. Politically speaking, what will be the political aftermath? Politically speaking, you know what? I can imagine that we will never know what has actually happened at such a depth under the sea in one of the most complicated infrastructures. It's not a given that any investigation will get to the bottom of it. My colleagues and I were making fun of it, but fun through tears. You know, we're saying that once the Russians downed the MH17, this time they downed another thing that they were not targeting and were not meaning to damage. So it is difficult to foresee what will be happening. Humanity has never seen a case of renewal of such infrastructural accident. In other words, never before have we been able or seen any case of restoring the pipeline that has been damaged. It looks that the only way forward is to put new lines. I doubt that this pipeline will be operational. Not that I doubt that. But now that Russia is under sanctions, it cannot count on the technological decisions offered by the Western world. And at the end of the day, it was the Western countries that were building it. But restoring it looks to me very doubtful. We have heard points of view from Germany that renewal is not possible, but there are publications in different outlets to the effect that at the eve of the accident, the Russian submarines were identified in that area. Do you have any information on that? Once again, you have to turn to the government spreading such information and assess its objectivity or unbiased nature, but we also know that the Russians have the best understanding in the world how to damage this pipeline. That is to say, if the renewal is impossible, the whole set of logistics will be taking advantage of the Ukrainian transportation system. If we imagine that the Turkish pipeline is operational, we are talking about 16 billion units, and this is incomparable to the capacity of the Ukrainian system. The threat of the Nord Stream 2 that has never been operational leads to a question whether it will be launched. But if it is, it will not be able to be working to full capacity. That is to say that the only alternative is the Ukrainian system of gas pipelines. Questions from the floor, if there are any. Victoria Nakонечна, Ukrinform News Agency. Looking into the future, can this accident of the North Streams be a step of squeezing out Russia out of energy markets in Europe. As of today, Russia has left gas market in Europe in a situation when it was controlling. Now it is in control of volumes in terms of 8 to 9%, and these volumes are being shortened. This is not the first stop. This is the last nail in that process. Russia, by its own devices, has lost European markets. If Ukraine were fighting for this project and Russia would continue the delivery, saying that we are delivering on our promises, they would have squeezed out Ukraine 5 years ago. How painful is this loss for the Russian economy in general? 55 billion euros per year. This is what they earn for the gas exports. If I'm not mistaken, it accounts for 8 to 9% of the general state coffer of Russia. It is a painful accident. We thank you, sir, for lighting the shed on this important event. Ladies and gentlemen, the next briefing will take place at 15:30. We'll be joined by Kharchenko, the authority and the commissioner for the lost persons. We'll be talking about the results of identifying the person who are in loss now. Thank you. Stay tuned.